Hi, seventh grade. Welcome back. Today we're going to be working on developing our writing even more. Um, so today is Wednesday. Starting this week, Thursday, Friday, and next week, we'll be spending quite a bit of time focusing on the upcoming election, focusing on how a president is elected, and is that like why is that the case, why is the election the way that it is, so that we can educate ourselves better on why a president is elected and how the process is. Before we do that, we're going to continue working on our CEEs, because I still think that there's a lot of growth that needs to happen. So this is a CEE. What you're seeing now is a CE that I wrote, based on the same question and the same sources that I gave you last week, right? How did the bubonic plague cause social upheaval or social disorder in medieval Europe? I'm going to be highlighting this, so please follow along. So, the plague caused social upheaval in medieval Europe because people abandoned their morality and sense of humanity. This is my this is my claim. This is my claim, and I have my reason. My reason is because so I'm trying to prove that the plague caused social upheaval and social upheaval. And the reason that I have is because people lost their morality and sense of humanity. Okay. I'm going to do a different color. I'm going to pick green. Actually, I'll pick a different color. I'll pick orange. This is, so in yellow is my claim. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the bubonic plague, right? So this is context, this is background information. The bubonic plague was a disease that hit Europe in the 1300s. It killed millions of people in about 5 years. That's my background information. That's my context. Now I'm going to pick a different color. I'll pick blue. Now I'm going to give you my source, right? To support my claim. I'm trying to prove that the plague caused people to lose their morality and sense of humanity. They stop being kind of like human, right? So here's my source, my first source. In source 2, it states, all who survived gave themselves over to pleasures, monks, priests, nuns, and laymen, and women all enjoy themselves, and none were worried about spending and gambling. So people begin to behave a different way, right? So this is my evidence. And now I'm going to give you my explanation with a different color here. I'll pick pink. Okay. And this is where a lot of the growth needs to happen, where you're actually explaining to the reader, how does this evidence support my claim that people lost their sense of humanity? Here's my explanation. It says, before the plague, it is assumed that monks, priests, nuns, laymen, and women behaved in a more moderate and adequate way. Once the plague invaded Europe, and those people who survived behaved in such a way that it was uncommon and immoral, the plague destroyed the social expectations of people. That is my explanation. Here's how I attempted to prove that the plague caused people to behave in such a way that it was kind of inhuman. It was not normal. Okay. Now I have a transition word here. Whenever you go from one source to the next, you should have a transition word. Here's my second evidence. In addition, in source 2, the Angolo di Tura states. So am I using the same source? Yes, in this case I am using the same source, which is fine. He says, and there were also those who were so sparsely covered with earth that the dogs dragged them forth and devoured many bodies throughout the city. So here I made a mistake. I needed to end my quote, right? This is my quote. It should end there. Okay. So that is my second piece of evidence. How when people are buried, they are barely buried with a little bit of dirt. Okay. That dogs are able to like take them out of the ground and eat them. Now I'm gonna have my second explanation, and that's gonna be in pink, I believe. So I'm trying to explain here how this evidence supports my claim. Again, my claim is that people lost their sense of humanity. So here's my explanation. When someone dies, they are given a proper burial. Flowers and prayers are a norm. But what the Angelo de Tura is saying is that society has completely fallen apart. Dogs are now digging up dead people. The level of death is so tremendous that dogs digging up people seems to be normal. Okay, that's my explanation. And now I'm going to go back to I'm going to restate my claim. The bubonic plague had a drastic effect on what people believe to be normal. Actually, that's a mistake. I'm going to erase that part because that is still part of my explanation. At the end, I could still restate my claim. Okay, this is still part of my explanation. And then at the end here, I could still restate my claim. So you can copy this, only your claim, and put it here. Okay, so this is what I am expecting. And maybe I wasn't clear with you enough, but this is what I expect. Okay, so today you'll be working on something similar, right? I've given you only one source to work from. So this is a source. So when you cite the source, this is a screenshot because I wasn't able to copy the whole document. This is source A, and it is about the Catholic Church. Now, the Catholic Church is a religion, a Christian religion in medieval Europe. Teaches the beliefs of Jesus Christ, that Jesus came and gave his life for people. It is a monotheistic religion in medieval Europe. And it is the biggest religion in Europe, right? Pretty much everyone in Europe at this time is a Christian. When I say Christian, I also mean Catholic. They're the same thing at this time, okay? In a time of, this is a secondary source, I believe. In a time of great political chaos, political means governments, the Roman Catholic Church was the single largest unifying structure in medieval Europe. It touched everyone's lives, no matter what their rank. What their rank means, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. You are most likely going to be impacted by the church because you probably are part of that church, or class, or where they live. So it doesn't matter where you live, you're going to be touched by the church. With the exception of a small number of Jews. So there's some number of Jews that are not Christian, but for the most part, everyone is Christian. Everyone in Europe was a Christian during the Middle Ages, from the richest king to the lowest serfs. So again, kings are at the top, serfs are at the bottom. From the moment of his baptism, a few days after birth, a child entered the life of service to God and God's church. So when a child is born, one of the things that Christians do is they baptize them to bring him into the religion, right? They pour water on their head. As a child grew, it will be taught basic prayer, will go to church every week, bearing illness. So you have to go to church unless you're sick, and will learn its responsibilities to the church. Every person was required to live by the church's laws and pay heavy taxes to support the church. In return for this, they were shown the way to everlasting life and happiness after lives that were often short and hard. So what this sentence is saying is that, that you serve the church, you pay the church, you pay taxes to the church, you pray, you go to church every day or every week. And in return, the church teaches you or can help you get to heaven. Okay? Here it says often short and hard. That's talking about the lives of people. Most Europeans at this time did not live a long time. So life was very hard. But the church could help you when you die, you can go to heaven. In addition to collecting taxes, so the church also collects taxes, right? You are required to pay taxes to the church. The church also accepted gifts of all kinds from individuals who wanted special favors or wanted to be certain of a place in heaven. So this is going to be a topic that we're going to talk about in the future. So you could pay the church to kind of buy your way into heaven, and you'll know about that later. These gifts, so people could give them the church land, animals, food, and even slaves, serfs. This allowed the church to become very powerful, and often used this power to influence kings to do as it wanted. So the church is very powerful. The leader of the church is also the Pope, known as the Pope. Okay. So whenever you cite evidence from this document, it needs to come from the document itself. You can't cite, well, Mr. Merlo said this, Mr. Merlo said that. It has to be from the actual document. And you have two questions to pick from. How important was the Catholic Church in medieval Europe? Or what made the Catholic Church so powerful and rich in medieval Europe? Again, you are going to need a claim with reason. You need one, only one piece of evidence, and you need one explanation. That's it. It should be at least half this size because this is two pieces of evidence. So that means that yours should be at least uh, half of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 or 8 lines. I'm looking forward to looking at your claims, your evidence, and how well you develop your explanations. And then on Thursday, we begin working on the election. It's going to be so exciting. I can't wait. I'll see you guys later. And yeah, be safe. Bye.